Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Halloween podcast. I am your host, Lyle Perez. Today is October 24, 2024, and you're listening to episode 43 of our Haunted America series. Today, we're heading deep into the heart of Texas, where the legends are as big as the state itself. Texas has been known for its rugged landscapes and rich history, but beneath the surface lies a world of ghostly encounters and haunted locations. From forgotten hospitals to eerie hotels, the Lone Star State has its fair share of spirits that never quite left. So grab your flashlights and let's dive into 10 of the most haunted locations in the state of Texas. Our first stop is the iconic Driskill Hotel in Austin, one of the most haunted hotels in Texas. Built in 1886 by cattle baron Jesse Driskill, the hotel has a storied past filled with luxury and tragedy. Driskill himself is said to roam the halls, unable to leave the grand hotel he built. Guests frequently report seeing his apparition, described as a man in a cigar smoke-filled room, often lingering near the lobby. But Driskill isn't the only spirit haunting this historic hotel. One of the most famous ghost stories involves the little girl in room 525, who tragically died after falling down the hotel's grand staircase. Guests have reported hearing her laughter echo through the hallways, and some have even seen her ghostly figure wandering the upper floors, still clutching her favorite ball. The Driskill Hotel remains open to this day, offering visitors the chance to stay in one of its haunted rooms, and maybe even catch a glimpse of its ghostly inhabitants. Our next stop takes us into the West Texas desert, where the mysterious Marfa Lights have baffled and intrigued visitors for over a century. The lights, which appear as glowing orbs of varied color, have been spotted near the town of Marfa since the late 1800s. While scientists have offered various explanations, from car headlights to atmospheric reflections, many believe the lights are spirits of Native Americans who once inhabited the land. Witnesses describe seeing the lights float, dance, and even zigzag across the horizon before disappearing without a trace. Some say the lights follow them as they drive along the highways, while others have reported seeing them up close, glowing brightly before vanishing. No one has been able to fully explain the phenomenon, which only adds to the mystique of the Marfa Lights. The Marfa Lights are still visible today, with a dedicated viewing area just outside of town where visitors can gather at night to witness this eerie spectacle. Located just steps away from the Alamo, the Menger Hotel in San Antonio is not only one of Texas' oldest hotels, but it's also one of its most haunted. Built in 1859, the Menger has hosted a number of famous guests, including Theodore Roosevelt, but it's the ghost of its former employees and guests that make the hotel truly famous. One of the most frequently seen apparitions is Sally White, a chambermaid who was murdered by her husband in the hotel in 1876. Sally's spirit has been seen by guests wandering the halls, still dressed in her maid's uniform, forever attending to her duties. Another famous ghost at the Menger is Captain Richard King, founder of the famous King Ranch. His spirit is said to haunt the King Suite, where he died in 1885. Guests who stay in the room often report feeling his presence, with some claiming to have seen his figure standing at the foot of their bed late at night. The Menger Hotel remains open and offers both luxury accommodations and a chance to experience its haunted history firsthand. The Jefferson Hotel, located in the small town of Jefferson, Texas, is a haunted gem that has earned its reputation as one of the spookiest hotels in the state. Originally built in the 1850s, this historic hotel has seen its share of ghostly guests over the years. One of the most famous spirits is the woman in white, a bride who was reportedly left at the altar and took her own life in the hotel. Her apparition has been seen wandering the halls, and guests staying in her room often report hearing her sobbing during the night. In addition to the woman in white, guests have encountered the ghost of a young boy, believed to have drowned in the nearby river. He is known to play pranks on the hotel staff, moving objects and knocking on doors, only to disappear when someone answers. The Jefferson Hotel embraces its haunted reputation and offers both ghost tours and overnight stays for those brave enough to spend the night. Next, we head to Houston, where the Spaghetti Warehouse is known for more than just its food. Housed in a building from the early 1900s, the restaurant has long been rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a former owner who died after falling down the elevator shaft. His spirit is said to still linger, rearranging tables and chairs after hours, and occasionally tapping diners on the shoulder. Guests have also reported seeing a woman in white, believed to be the man's wife, sitting at a table near the window. Her apparition often appears late at night, staring out at the street below, before vanishing into thin air. Staff members frequently hear disembodied voices calling out from the kitchen, even when the restaurant is empty. The Spaghetti Warehouse remains open, offering a unique dining experience with a side of the paranormal. In Dallas, the ghostly legend of White Rock Lake has been whispered about for decades. The most famous haunting is that of the Lady of the Lake, a woman dressed in white, soaking wet, and appearing to motorists at night. According to the story, this ghostly figure asks for a ride home, but vanishes from the car before they arrive, leaving nothing behind but a wet seat. First reported in the 1930s, this chilling tale has been shared by countless witnesses who have all described eerily similar encounters. White Rock Lake has also a dark past, with some believing the spirit is linked to the suicides and murders that have taken place around the lake. While the stories may vary, one thing remains certain. Those who visit at night might find themselves in the company of more than just the living. You can visit the White Rock Lake year-round, though beware of offering rides to ghostly passengers. Next, we venture to Yorktown Memorial Hospital, which has gained a reputation as one of the most haunted places in Texas. Opened in 1951 and closed in the late 1980s, this hospital was run by nuns and saw its fair share of tragedy. Over the years, paranormal investigators have flocked to this location, reporting intense ghostly encounters, from shadowy figures in the halls to the spirit of a nurse still tending to patients long after the hospital has shut down. One of the most chilling reports comes from the hospital's chapel, where many visitors experience an overwhelming sense of dread. Objects move on their own, and some claim to hear faint prayers being whispered in the empty pews. Though the hospital is now abandoned, it's open for ghost hunts, giving you the opportunity to walk its haunted halls, if you dare. The Emily Morgan Hotel in San Antonio is one of the most haunted buildings in Texas. Built in 1924, it originally served as a hospital, and its transformation into a luxury hotel hasn't stopped the paranormal activity. Guests frequently report hearing phantom footsteps, seeing shadowy apparitions, and feeling an unmistakable sense of being watched. The most haunted floors are said to be the 7th, 9th, and 14th, which was once the hospital's surgical and psychiatric wards. One of the most famous ghostly sightings is that of a nurse who continues her rounds, checking on guests in the middle of the night. People have also seen ghostly figures in hospital gowns, wandering the halls as if still seeking treatment. The Emily Morgan Hotel remains open for visitors and offers a luxurious stay, if you don't mind sharing your room with the undead. A lesser known yet spine-chilling spot near San Antonio is the Devil's Bridge. This old bridge has been the subject of terrifying tales for decades. Legend has it that the bridge is not only haunted by spirits, but that the devil himself has visited this spot. The most unsettling reports come from those who claim to hear the creaking of rope, which many believe is tied to a pastor who hung himself from a nearby tree during the Spanish Inquisition. The overwhelming smell of sulfur, a sign of demonic presence, adds to the bridge's eerie atmosphere. In addition to the legend of the pastor, some visitors report seeing a shadowy figure standing by the edge of the bridge, while others claim to hear screams and whispers echoing through the night. The Devil's Bridge is a popular spot for ghost hunters, though many leave with stories far more chilling than they bargained for. Our final stop is the Catfish Plantation, a charming Victorian home turned restaurant with a dark past. Built in the late 1800s, the house is believed to be haunted by several ghosts, including a woman in white, a former bride who never left, and the spirit of a previous owner who reportedly enjoys moving objects and playing pranks on the staff. Diners often experience cold spots and see apparitions in the dining room, and the kitchen staff has reported seeing pots and pans levitating and doors opening on their own. The hauntings at Catfish Plantation have attracted paranormal investigators from all over, and despite the eerie activity, the restaurant remains open, offering both delicious food and ghostly experiences. And there you have it, everybody. That is our haunted journey through Texas. From the eerie lights at White Castle Lake to the chilling encounters at Yorktown Memorial Hospital, the Lone Star State is filled of ghostly tales that will keep you up at night. And do you know what's keeping me up at night? This back pain, which still hurts. Oh, but yeah. All right, so I finished Texas, kind of a little bit of a shorter show. There was a few other things I wanted to talk about that I couldn't get to because my back's hurting and I got to go lay down for a bit. But if you're enjoying everything I've been doing here at the Halloween podcast, especially this Haunted America series, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. I've recently gotten quite a few reviews, mostly good, some bad. So I really appreciate everyone who took the time and went on to the onto Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever, and you left a review. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, or want to suggest anything for a future show, send me an email, thehalloweenpodcast@gmail.com. Also, I am looking for guests, so if you feel like you can be a wonderful guest on the Halloween podcast, if you want to talk about maybe some Halloween-themed sitcoms, maybe some eerie encounter that you once experienced, I'd be more than happy to talk to you. So send me that email, thehalloweenpodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to support the show, head on over to our website, thehalloweenpodcast.com. Go to our merch store. I got a lot of cool stuff up there for you to check out and maybe order. And once you do, all of those proceeds go to help the Halloween podcast pay for all of the production that goes on here. So yeah, go to the website, order some merch, help us out. And I can't forget about that Facebook page, facebook.com/thehalloweenpodcast. Stop by there and give us a like. So we're getting closer and closer to the grand finale of the Haunted America series. We have just a few states left. Really, I think maybe about 7 more states, give or take. So come back tomorrow because we are on our way to U-Haul, one of the final states in the Haunted America series. And yeah, I'm kind of glad because it's been quite a feat to do 50 shows in 50 days. We've had some close calls like today. I didn't think I was going to make it in time, but here I am in the studio doing what I can. But my back's hurting, so I got to go lay back down or do something. So, come back tomorrow. We will do Utah, and I'll see you then. Have a good night.